Every console has a different lineup of exclusives that fit the audiences they're made for. Nintendo focuses on platformers and fun mechanics that caters to their fans. Xbox, even as it tries to diversify its lineup with games like Fable Legends and Scalebound and Project Spark, Xbox is nevertheless the home of shooters. Halo and Gears of War reign supreme with its fanbase. And PlayStation, as the president of Sony Interactive Entertainment recently stated, focuses on stories. As Sean Layden put it, "My philosophy is to play to my strengths." And if you look at the studios we have, that's what we do well. We do story. We create characters. It's what we're known for. Now you might be thinking, what's wrong with that? As a PlayStation fan, that's exactly the reason I primarily play on the PS4. Stories and characters and visceral single-player experiences. While I'm always up for a few multiplayer rounds in Star Wars Battlefront, the reason I, and many other gamers play, is to embody heroes thrown into brave new worlds to take on adventures with a cast of characters we fall in love with. And PlayStation's current and future lineup of exclusives looks to deliver on that promise. But there's only one problem. PlayStation 4's exclusives look and play exactly the same. During the PlayStation 3 era, I would routinely jump from playing a few community maps in Little Big Planet, a side-scroller, to defeating hordes of Helghast with Rico and Sev in Killzone, a first-person shooter, and finally slaying all manner of demons in God of War 3, a hack-and-slash. Every time I picked up a PlayStation 3 exclusive, I was guaranteed a distinct visual and gameplay experience. How about the PlayStation 4?
Nice jumpsuit. Slimming.
How varied are its exclusives? How distinct and flavorful and unique are they in comparison to one another? Well, it's better to show than tell.
You ain't betting, right?
That was too damn close.
Spotted.
Let's do this. Yeah? You want some of this?
Nowhere to run.
Shit!
Back up. Go on for back. No.
PlayStation.
Now, let's take this step by step, starting with Sony Santa Monica's return to the God of War series. God of War mainly consists of ridiculous set-piece moments that are trickled in between the hack-and-slash, fixed-camera combat. It's different. The location of the camera sets it apart from most other games, but more importantly, it sets it apart from every other PlayStation exclusive. Santa Monica have now come up with a solution to a problem that wasn't ever a problem to begin with. Why not bring the camera down behind Kratos' back? Because that'll preserve the unique nature of God of War amongst its competitors and fellow games in the PlayStation family. I understand that a journey with your boy wouldn't really work with the fixed camera, and that a behind-the-shoulders approach makes for a more intimate and emotional experience. But if that's the route you want to take, just start a new IP. Why take away one of the few things that separate God of War from other exclusives for the sake of a more emotional tale? And the same problem has infected Days Gone. I mean, what the hell is this if not an open world Last of Us? Why not try something new? What Sean Layden really means when he talks about Sony prioritizing storytelling is that he thinks only third-person action-adventure games can deliver the emotional impact they are looking for. So instead of trying to raise the level of narratives found in exclusives that don't belong to that genre, they've just decided to take the easy road and make them all look and play the same, because story. Now, while narrative is most definitely important, it is not as important as having an array of exclusives that span different kinds of experiences. This is the reason I became a PlayStation fan during the PS3 generation, and now Sony is adopting an uninspiring approach. I'm sure I'll love Dead Don't Ride, but I'm afraid I'm going to get tired of this. In fact, I'm already starting to.
Where the trail leads, I will go.
Yes, Horizon Zero Dawn. One of the best games I've ever played. But I'm still only 25 hours in. I've just done this too many times, especially on top of the amount of open world RPGs we've gotten in the last few years. This from the studio who made the incredibly dark and unique Killzone. Oh, I forgot. First person shooters can't tell great stories with great characters, right?
And the strength of the wolf.
Wait, that's the wrong... There you go. Sony seemed to have fallen into the same trap that many in the games industry have, believing this model is the only way to connect to characters and be invested in video game narratives. Now I'm sure the team in Europe is getting a bit tired of making Killzone games, but why not make something different? Now they claim Horizon is unlike anything they've ever done, which is obviously true, but PlayStation's family of exclusives are so interconnected that Sony has a responsibility to make sure its developers craft unique experiences that are unlike what other studios are doing. And in that sense, Horizon is not any different. Sure, it's an RPG, but really that portion of the game can be stripped away. During my time, I barely upgraded weapons and I'm managing just fine. It's really just another third-person adventure game. Infamous is another example, hurled into this generation from the PS3 era, and reports are that Sucker Punch are making a similar game, albeit from a new IP, which I'm sure will be announced at PSX this December, and which I'm sure will look like every other game I've talked about. But where did this all come from?
The valley of the shadow of death, and I fear no evil because I'm blind to it all in my mind.
Some days I wish The Last of Us sold 300,000 units and ended with a 56 Metacritic score, because its success, along with Uncharted's, is the sole reason for this issue PlayStation fans now face. When I hoped that more studios would take a lesson from those games, I didn't mean it in this way. Make no mistake, without the critical and commercial success of Uncharted 2 and The Last of Us specifically, God of War would still be God of War. Guerrilla would not be making Horizon, or if they did, it would be much different, and the likes of Sony Bend and Ready at Dawn would be developing games for different genres. Maybe it'll be when The Last of Us Part 2 rolls around, when we finally realize the truly terrible situation we've been put in the cookie-cutter experiences we will soon receive. Maybe I'm being a bit too harsh, but, and this next point will really drive it home, this isn't the only genre or category of games Sony has taken this approach with. It boggles the mind to think about why Sony decided it would be a good idea to go from having a simulation racer alongside an over-the-top arcade racer to then having two simulation racers as exclusives. I'm a huge fan of Driveclub, but why on earth does it need to exist when Sony already have the highest selling racer of all time in their portfolio? What was Driveclub for? Who was Driveclub for? It seems that the Japanese electronics maker is seeing a financial gain as they cash in on what they know will sell, instead of taking risks in their biggest properties. Now sure, the PS4 still pumps out a good number of indies that only PlayStation fans can experience, but the risks are not being taken at the highest level like they once were. The days of switching between Little Big Planet, Resistance 3, and Puppeteer are gone. Instead, we have 5 third-person, AAA, action-adventure exclusives that all look like the exact same game, and PlayStation is worse off for it.